Hello, brave warriors. Welcome back to this space where we acknowledge truths that society often wants us to stay silent about. Today, I'm writing the most challenging letter of this series, a letter to outside pain. The pain that doesn't come from within us, but is inflicted upon us by systems, societies, and structures that were never designed for our healing or our thriving. If you've ever felt crushed by forces bigger than yourself, if you've ever wondered why you have to fight so hard for basic human dignity, if you've ever carried the weight of injustices that were never your fault, this letter honors your experience and validates your struggle. I'm writing this because individual therapy isn't enough when the trauma is systemic. Personal healing must include social awareness. We cannot heal in isolation what happened to us in community, in systems, in societies that failed to protect us. Your pain is not just personal, it's political. Your healing is not just individual, it's revolutionary. And your liberation is connected to all of our liberation. Take a deep breath with me. Feel the strength of everyone who came before us, who survived so we could be here. Let's write this letter to the outside pain that shaped us but does not own us. Dear outside pain, I feel you in the weight of systemic oppression, in the bone-deep exhaustion of fighting for basic human dignity that others take for granted. Or maybe your poverty trauma. Maybe you whisper you'll never have enough because the system was designed to keep me struggling, to keep me so busy surviving that I can't focus on thriving. Maybe your discrimination pain. Maybe you force me to question my worth every single day because society treats me as less than human based on the color of my skin, my gender, my sexuality, my religion, my accent, my zip code. Maybe your workplace harassment. Maybe you taught me that speaking truth to power means losing everything, that my dignity is less important than my paycheck, that I have to smile while being destroyed. Maybe your medical trauma. Maybe you showed me that my pain doesn't matter to systems that are supposed to heal me, that my symptoms are dismissed, that I have to fight to be believed about my own body. Maybe your educational violence. Maybe you convinced me I was stupid because the system wasn't designed for how my brain learns, because my culture wasn't valued, because my potential was never recognized or nurtured. You made me feel powerless against forces bigger than myself, like the world was rigged against my healing, like no matter how hard I worked on myself, external systems would always tear me down. You made me doubt if I deserved better treatment, if I was asking for too much, if this was just how life was supposed to be for people like me. You stole my sense of safety in the world. You taught me that home could be anywhere because nowhere was truly safe for my full self to exist. But here's what I've discovered. Outside pain. Research on collective trauma shows that individual healing must include systemic awareness. Dr. Resmaa Menakem proves that trauma lives not just in our bodies, but in our social structures, our institutions, our collective unconscious. You're not personal failure, outside pain. You're the result of intergenerational trauma, environmental racism, economic violence, and systems designed to benefit some at the expense of others. The research on historical trauma shows that oppression gets passed down through generations, not through genetics, but through disrupted attachment, through survival strategies that were necessary then, but limiting now. Social justice research shows that healing happens in community. Isolation is a tool of oppression. Connection is a tool of liberation. Individual therapy plus collective action equals transformation. Outside pain requires both personal healing and systemic change. I cannot heal what happened to me in systems by only working on myself. The research on resilience in oppressed communities shows extraordinary strength, creativity, and innovation. Marginalized communities consistently demonstrate higher levels of empathy, community connection, and resourcefulness. Dear outside pain, I am no longer carrying shame for systemic failures that were never my responsibility. I refuse to internalize external oppression as personal deficiency. I've learned that my healing is both personal and political, that when I heal from systemic trauma, I'm not just healing for myself, I'm healing for my ancestors who didn't have these resources, and for my descendants who deserve better systems. I build community resilience networks. Research shows that social support buffers the effects of systemic trauma. I find my people, my chosen family, my liberation community that sees my full humanity. I practice healing justice, understanding that my liberation is connected to everyone's liberation, that individual healing without collective healing perpetuates the problem. I engage in collective action not from anger, but from love for future generations, who deserve systems that support their thriving, instead of their survival. I vote, I volunteer, I speak up, I show up because my voice matters, and my participation can help shift the systems that created this pain. I study the history of resistance, of people who survived impossible systems and created change. I draw strength from ancestors who preserved hope against all odds. I practice radical self-care as an act of political resistance. In systems designed to exhaust me, taking care of myself is revolutionary. I tell my truth. I share my story. I break silence around systemic trauma, because shame thrives in secrecy, and healing happens in witnessed truth. I mentor others navigating similar systems, creating the support I wish I had received, building bridges for others crossing similar waters. Dear outside pain, you showed me that my trauma isn't just individual, it's historical. You taught me that healing is both personal and political, that my liberation matters, not just for me, but for all of us. You revealed my strength, my resilience, my capacity to survive systems that were designed to break me. You showed me that my very existence is an act of resistance. You connected me to communities of people who understand, who see me, who know this journey from the inside. You taught me that I was never meant to heal in isolation. But I refuse to let broken systems break my spirit. I refuse to let outside pain convince me that this is all there is, that this is all I deserve. I choose to be the ancestor my descendants will thank. I choose to be part of the solution, part of the healing, part of the transformation. This is my revolutionary letter, Outside Pain, written with research-backed community healing methods that honor both individual trauma and collective liberation. I am ready to transform you because I choose systemic healing. I choose a world where everyone's full humanity is recognized, where justice flows like water, where systems serve all people's thriving. And to everyone watching who carries outside pain, your trauma is valid, your anger is justified, your exhaustion makes perfect sense. You are not imagining systemic oppression, you are surviving it. Your healing matters, not just for you, but for all of us. Your liberation is connected to mine. Your thriving creates space for others to thrive. You deserve systems that support you. You deserve communities that celebrate you. You deserve a world where your full self is welcomed, valued, and protected. Write your own letter to Outside Pain. Share your truth in the comments. Let's build healing community together. Because transformation happens when we connect across our struggles and our strengths. If this letter validated your experience, if it helped you understand that outside pain is real pain that deserves real attention, please subscribe to continue building this healing community. Hit that notification bell so these conversations reach you when you need them most. Share this video with someone who needs to know they're not crazy for struggling against unjust systems. Your sharing creates ripples of validation and healing. Give this video a like if it spoke to your experience of outside pain. Your engagement helps this message reach others who need to know that systemic trauma is real and that collective healing is possible. Until we meet again, remember, you are not responsible for systems that failed you, but you are powerful enough to be part of changing them. Your healing is your resistance. Your thriving is your revolution. Your liberation helps liberate us all. With solidarity and transformative love, thank you for trusting me with your truth. Thank you for choosing healing over hatred. Thank you for believing that together, we can build the world our souls know is possible.